You think you know boxing? Well, what if I told you Rocky Marciano's right hand had a nickname that sounded like a dance move? Or that one punch literally changed heavyweight history in just 35 seconds? Today, we're breaking down the most legendary signature punches that made champions immortal. From devastating knockouts to physics defying techniques, these are the punches that defined greatness. Starting our countdown with Canadian destroyer Donovan Ruddock and his absolutely brutal signature punch, the smash. This wasn't your typical left hook, folks. Ruddock threw this bad boy at a 45-degree angle, part hook, part uppercut, all devastation. It was like someone decided to combine two of boxing's most powerful punches into one Frankenstein monster of destruction. The genius of the smash? It was nearly impossible to defend against. You block for a hook? Boom, the uppercut angle gets you. You defend the uppercut? The hook component slips through. Ruddock used this hybrid punch to lift opponents literally off their feet. With a career record of 38-5-1 and 28 knockouts, the smash was his calling card. Fun fact, Ruddock was one of the few guys who actually hurt Mike Tyson in their fights. That's right, Iron Mike himself felt the power of the smash. When you're making Mike Tyson respect your power, you know you've got something special. Here's where boxing gets theatrical. Kid Galivan didn't invent the bolo punch. That honor goes to Filipino legend Ceferino Garcia. But man, did he perfect it. Picture this, one arm spinning like a windmill, looking like he's about to pitch a softball. The other hand sneaks in for the kill. It's deception at its finest. The name comes from the Filipino machete called a bolo, used to cut through jungle vegetation. Filipino immigrants who worked on farms in Hawaii and California brought this technique from their martial arts into American boxing rings. Galivan ended his career with 107 wins, 30 losses, 6 draws, and 27 knockouts, many courtesy of this circus-like punch. The psychology behind it was brilliant. Opponents would get hypnotized watching that circling arm, completely forgetting about the other fist coming straight for their chin. Sugar Ray Leonard later adopted this punch, using it to taunt Roberto Duran in their famous rematch. When Sugar Ray started windmilling, you knew someone was about to take a nap. Number 8. Lennox Lewis's straight right hand. The last undisputed heavyweight champion had a signature punch as straightforward as his British accent. That ramrod straight right hand. Standing 6'5" with an 84-inch reach, Lewis turned his jab into a rangefinder before launching that missile of a right hand. Under trainer Emmanuel Stewart, this punch became a thing of beauty. Technically perfect, devastatingly powerful. Lewis knocked out 32 of his 41 victories, and that straight right was the closer in most of them. Remember when he avenged his loss to Asim Rahman? One set up with the left, then bang, that straight right sent Rahman into the shadow realm. The punch was so effective because of Lewis's patience. He'd measure you, test you, wait for the perfect moment, then unleash hell. What made it special wasn't just power, it was precision. Lewis could thread that right hand through the tiniest openings in the opponent's guard. Combined with his chess-like boxing IQ, opponents knew it was coming, but still couldn't stop it. That's the mark of a truly great signature punch. They called him Captain Hook for a reason. Roy Jones Jr.'s lead left hook was like something out of a video game. It came from angles that shouldn't exist in real life. Jones would literally spring from nowhere, firing that left hook from his hip with the speed of a cobra strike. Here's the crazy part. Jones's left bicep was noticeably larger than his right from throwing this punch so much. He even told Joe Rogan about it. That's dedication to your craft. The hook was so dominant it became his signature move in the Fight Night video game series. Jones used this punch to dominate an entire era. Against Vinny Pazienza, he went an entire round without being hit, the only time in CompuBox history that's happened. His left hook could come as a lead, a counter, or part of a combination. Sometimes he'd throw it while literally jumping backward, defying every rule of boxing physics. With 66 wins and 47 knockouts, Captain Hook's signature punch left a trail of unconscious bodies through multiple weight divisions. Number 6. Jack Dempsey's Dempsey roll. Now we're getting into legendary territory. The Dempsey roll wasn't just a punch, it was a whole fighting system. Picture a figure-8 weaving motion, building momentum like a human tornado, then wham, hooks from every angle possible. Dempsey used this to destroy opponents 60 pounds heavier than him. The technique involved drop steps, shifting stances, and something Dempsey called the shoulder whirl, basically turning your whole body into a spring-loaded weapon. When Dempsey knocked out Jess Willard in 1919, he broke the giant's jaw, knocked out several teeth, and fractured his cheekbones. That's not boxing, that's demolition work. Mike Tyson later adopted his style, and you can see why. It's perfect for shorter fighters who need to get inside on taller opponents. The roll creates so much kinetic energy that even if opponents see it coming, they can't stop it. Modern boxing moved away from it because it's vulnerable to counters, but in Dempsey's era, it was like bringing a machine gun to a knife fight. Pac-Man's straight left was a guided missile that transcended weight classes. This wasn't just a punch, it was a phenomenon that carried him through 8 weight divisions. What made it special? Pacquiao could throw it from positions that made no sense, at angles that defied geometry, with speed that cameras could barely catch. The devastating power came from his unique ability to generate force while moving forward, often throwing it off just one foot, completely breaking traditional boxing rules. Against Ricky Hatton, that left hook turned the British fighter into a highlight reel knockout that's still watched millions of times today. The setup with a fake right, then boom, lights out in the second round. Here's what's insane. Pacquiao could alter the trajectory mid-air. He'd start throwing what looked like a straight, then loop it around your guard, or begin with what seemed like a looping punch, then straighten it out. Combined with his otherworldly hand speed and cardio, the man averaged over 100 punches per round at his peak. That left hand was unstoppable. From flyweight to super welterweight, that straight left made history. Number 4. Joe Frazier's left hook. Smokin' Joe's left hook wasn't just a punch, it was a life philosophy. Frazier would walk through hell, taking 3 punches to land one because he knew his left hook could change everything. This was blue-collar boxing at its finest. No fancy footwork, no slick moves, just devastating power and an iron will. The most famous left hook in boxing history? Round 15, Madison Square Garden, 1971, Frazier vs. Ali I. After 14 brutal rounds, Frazier uncorked a left hook that sent Muhammad Ali crashing to the canvas for only the 3rd time in his career. Ali said Frazier's hooks could have brought down the walls of a city. That's not trash talk, that's respect. What made Frazier's hook special was the way he threw it, low and wide, coming from angles fighters didn't expect. He'd bob and weave, getting lower and lower, then explode upward with the hook. Combined with his relentless pressure and granite chin, that left hook was inevitable. You could run, but you couldn't hide. Eventually, Smokin' Joe would find you with that heat-seeking missile of a left hand. Number 3. Rocky Marciano's Suzie Q. The only heavyweight champion to retire undefeated at 49-0, Rocky Marciano had a secret weapon with a sweet name, the Suzie Q. This overhand right was like a sledgehammer wrapped in a love letter. Marciano would throw it endlessly, from impossible angles, with the force of a truck. What made Suzie Q legendary wasn't just the power, it was how Marciano set it up. From his trademark crouch, he'd spring forward, making opponents think a body shot was coming. Then, at the last possible second, he'd whip that overhand right with a ridiculously high angle. By the time opponents saw it, they were already unconscious. The most iconic Suzie Q? Against Jersey Joe Walcott in 1952. Walcott was winning the fight, boxing beautifully, then Marciano landed a short right that separated Walcott from his senses in one of boxing's most dramatic knockouts. Rocky called it Suzie Q because, like the song, once it started playing, the dance was over. With 43 knockouts in 49 fights, that punch retired more fighters than Father Time. Number 2. George Foreman's devastating power punches. Big George Foreman didn't have one signature punch. His signature was that every punch could end your night. Foreman hit like a wrecking ball attached to another wrecking ball. When he knocked out Joe Frazier in 1973, lifting him off his feet multiple times, the boxing world was terrified. This was the same Frazier whose chin was considered unbreakable. Foreman's punching power came from his tree trunk legs and his ability to put his entire 220-pound frame behind every shot. He didn't need perfect technique. He had TNT in both hands. His comeback at age 45 to knock out Michael Moorer proved his power was God-given. That right hand that dropped Moorer didn't even look that hard, but Moorer went down like he'd been shot. Here's a terrifying fact. Foreman said he only hit opponents at about 70% power. Muhammad Ali, after taking Foreman's best shots in the Rumble in the Jungle, said George hit harder than anyone he'd ever faced. When Ali, who fought Liston, Frazier, and Shaver, says you hit the hardest, that's the ultimate endorsement. Number 1. Muhammad Ali's lightning jab and rope-a-dope. The greatest didn't just have the best jab in heavyweight history, he revolutionized boxing itself. Ali's jab wasn't just fast, it was like getting hit by a cobra that could also recite poetry. He'd flick it from impossible angles, double and triple it, use it to blind you, measure you, and humiliate you. Ali would literally tell opponents, I'm going to hit you with a jab, and still land it. But Ali's true genius was the rope-a-dope, the most famous defensive strategy in boxing history. Against George Foreman and Zaire, Ali did the unthinkable. He let the hardest puncher on earth hit him. Leaning against the ropes, Ali absorbed Foreman's bombs while whispering, "Is that all you got, George?" By round 8, Foreman was exhausted, and Ali knocked him out with a combination that shocked the world. The jab and the rope-a-dope represented Ali's boxing philosophy: hit and don't get hit, but if you do get hit, make it part of your plan. His jab was so good that computer analysis showed it was faster than Sugar Ray Robinson's, despite Ali being a heavyweight. Combined with his footwork, ring IQ, and psychological warfare, Ali didn't just win fights, he created art. That's why 50 years later, he's still the greatest. There you have it, 10 signature punches that changed boxing forever. From Ruddock's smash to Ali's legendary jab, these weapons defined careers and created legends. Which signature punch do you think was the most devastating? Drop a comment below and let me know. And hey, if you enjoyed this countdown, smash that subscribe button harder than Foreman hit Frazier. Hit the bell icon so you never miss our boxing breakdowns. Until next time, keep your punches clean and your guard up.